Hi, welcome to the 80-60 rule. I'm Mark and I'm 60.
Hello, everyone. I'm Greg. I'm 80 years old.
Nice to see you, Greg. You've got your Eagles shirt on a football Sunday here, on an NFL Sunday, with this early game over in London. It's like a full day of football. And then also we
12
got the
hours, 12 hours.
12 hours of football. And then also the MLB winding down the season. But
Yeah.
how you doing? What's going on?
Let's get some things. Let's talk about baseball for a little bit, okay?
Sure.
Uh, how would you like to be a fan of the Mets? You're in first place practically all season, and now with 4 days to go, you're just now in second place. I
Yeah.
was just like that. That was just like whoa,
Yeah.
as a fan.
Yeah.
That's why it's never over till it's over. It's like remember, yeah, I don't know. You never heard of a Kate Smith? No, not Kate Smith. She would sing that Dick Motto. What's his name? Dick used to say, "It's not
Stigmata?
over till the fat lady." It's not over till the fat lady sings.
Right. Meaning in the opera, when the fat lady sings, that's when it's over, right?
Yeah. How'd you
Yeah.
like that? That's something like all this. I feel bad for the Mets fans. No,
Yeah.
not that it's like, and then and the Braves fans must be going crazy. Like, my gosh. And then there's another one, the Brewers, the Padres, and the Phillies,
Right.
the wild card.
For the wild card.
Padres
Yeah.
are, but the Brewers and the Phillies are, the Brewers could have won last night. All they had to do was win, they'd be at first. Then they blew it with a reliever,
Yeah.
and now they got 4 games to go. But the Phillies are playing the Astros for three
Yeah.
games in
Yeah.
Houston. The
But
Brewers are
the
playing.
that might be a positive thing if you're a Phillies fan, because maybe the Astros are going to phone it in because they're already secured in their
I don't
spot,
think
right?
so. Here's what they're doing. My buddy told me this last night. He called me. Vanderlever, Jason, what's his name?
Uh, um,
Vander,
uh, man,
Vanderlever, no, Vanderlever, no,
Verlander, Verlander. Yeah.
Verlander.
When you
We'll
when
call him
you when you
Justin.
say the name wrong, it gets me whole on a whole different
Yeah,
track
let's
there.
just
Let's
call him Justin V.
Verlander. We got it.
Verlander, and they're playing the starters. We're ready for the play. They're going to give them just 5 innings. So who knows? What you never know.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
my friends back home, the writers are furious with what's going on with Philadelphia.
yeah.
Furious.
So what
They
are
say
they
they're not
mad? Are they mad at like decisions being made or just performance or what?
performance. They're saying Schwarber, he's batting two. He's a leadoff man. He's batting 220 for like
Yeah,
that. He's got 44 home runs, but come on. What's
right,
Castellanos done? You
right.
know?
And it's kind of funny because you've been saying it all year, like since right out of spring training, is about the batting averages, and I still see it when I'm watching a game. Schwarber was up the other night, and I go, wow, he's got a lot of home runs there, and then I look at his average, and I'm like, unbelievable how low
Yeah.
these averages are.
Oh yeah.
It's like all or nothing.
Yeah.
It,
They're all trying to hit home runs.
Yeah, it used to be like one or two guys in the league who were batting under 200. Now there's dozens batting under 200 and they're still playing.
Yeah.
So it's crazy when you look at like the big name guys like that. So I don't know, drop Schwarber down, right? Because you need base runners. Um, I know that injuries are a big deal right now with this last week too, as to like who's going to come through. So what do the
Like, look,
Phillies need? What do the Phillies need to have happen to make it in?
they just if they tie with the Brewers, they in it because they beat the Brewers in the regular season.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right.
So,
Okay.
hey, here's this with the Cubs, your Cubbies. All right, next year you pick up Wisdom. He's batting 209, 210. He'll probably hit 40 home runs next year. Peter Wisdom. What's his name? Peter. Oh, right.
Wait. Are you talking about you re-signing Wisdom?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do it just because they've got no other person who's going to drive in runs consistently.
Yeah.
I would do it. He's not a bad third baseman either. Um, uh, uh, because what um, I I kind of like their team as far as like the young guys. There's some impressive
Yeah.
guys, but more than that, I kind of like the young arms that they've got.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully, it's all about that anyway. So hopefully, coming
Two
out
of
of
them.
spring
Yeah.
spring
This is
training,
what I don't get. Like, what is he trying to do, Ross? Ross, like you're playing the Bodie at first base.
yeah,
You're trying to see if he can play first base. Uh, you got Higgins. He's good too. I think he's good. Higgins. He's a
yeah,
catcher in the first base. And like, what are you trying to? What are you trying to see these last 3 weeks?
yeah, right. Is he just giving guys time to play? I don't know. Uh, the Bodie thing, that's probably that. They're buddies, and he's been around a while, so maybe he's just given a time to play. Uh, so they're going nowhere, but it seems like you might want to look at some of the young guys as opposed to Bodie. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know if like I would like my team. I would like my team and all that, but I don't know if I want to just give him time to play. Uh, we want to make sure you win the game. It's like
right, right,
you get fired and say, "Well, I helped them give him the play."
yeah.
Like
I think Ross will be back. Right, Ross will
he
be back.
should. He should.
He hasn't done a bad job considering the garbage they had, and also that they got rid of everybody who was ever in the bullpen. Midway through the
Yeah,
year.
and
You know,
Contreras is going to go too. I think.
yeah, probably right, right. I was looking at him. He's really since he got hurt, he's really gained a lot of weight. I mean,
Yeah,
normally I don't, but he's it looks like he's almost given up, going like, all right, get me to the
yeah,
off
yeah,
season.
yeah.
I'll work out. I'll come back strong. I saw today. I got a thing on my phone that LaRusse is going to announce his retirement today.
Okay.
I kind of thought that was a foregone conclusion, but I guess not. But
Yeah.
LaRusse is officially going to say I'm done, which, you know,
Let me. This really gets me here. What do you think? Uh, MVP? Who? Aaron Judge, 313 batting average, 130 RBIs, 61 home runs. Otani, that is I don't pronounce it. Otani, 15-8 in pitching, 235 ERA, 161 innings, batting 275, 34 home runs, 94 ribbies. Who should be MVP?
well, most valuable player, I think, would be
Judge.
Otani because he's the most valuable to that team. Like, I mean, those pitching numbers and those batting numbers, and then you combine them. But you said a couple of weeks ago, co MVPs. I think that's what it should be because what Judge has done is just amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for Judge, the Yankees wouldn't be there at all.
right. Yeah,
He's the one
right.
that's
So that
carrying them.
yeah, that goes back to the MVP thing. Yeah, you're right. He's the most valuable player on that team.
And they're in first place. The Angels are not.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I go back and forth. I think it should be Kobe. These are two unbelievable accomplishments.
Right. Yeah. Two unbelievable seasons, and it's hard to
Seasons.
kind of it's hard to ignore that other one when if you give accolades to this one over here. The Angels are always weird, man. So Otani just signed a
30 million.
contract. Yeah. Is that for 1 year?
Yeah.
Just for next year?
Yeah.
Wow. But I look at them. They got Trout. They got him, and it's like, why aren't they better?
Arenado, he hasn't played though, but
No.
he hasn't played.
Rondon, you mean?
Randon. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just
Rondon.
checking
Yeah.
to see if you remembered.
No, I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. But it's all. I would be frustrated if I was their fan base, because it's like, come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know. So anyway, co MVPs. That's what I say. But it's been really fun to watch. Really cool to watch.
How can we talk about this? This is so good. The NFL Tua. I watched. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, live.
Yeah.
You saw, yeah. I go, what is it with his fingers? I go, like, what is that? And how can the NFL, the players and the executive hire somebody and they fire them? They picked them. Uh,
Yeah, well, they can fire him because
I
they
know, but
hired him.
he was that incompetent?
Yeah, right. Is it a scapegoat situation? I don't know. Right? Is it?
Yeah.
Well, let's fire this guy. But I mean, I'm not real cool on the first injury he had.
No, either
So
am I.
oh, okay, all right. So that's
No,
great. We both.
no. Either am I. It's like,
Me, yeah. So, but meaning that guy that they fired, what you're talking about is there's a protocol guy who examined him after the first one and said, yeah, he's good to play this weekend.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
or
yeah.
or,
I mean, to this the guy, I'm sure he just didn't I'm sure he just didn't get out of medical school. You know, he's
right,
probably so.
right.
He
Yeah,
says he's okay. He's okay. I'm like, what are you doing? To have him get on the plane, I wouldn't have done that. I'd be afraid.
right, right. I didn't like what's the coach's name? I didn't like his sort of cavalier attitude, like, he'll be fine, he'll be fine. No, 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 man. Those things you gotta do those tests. You gotta, you know, um you know, tender loving care when it comes to those concussions,
Let
man.
me tell you, I love the sport, but I tell you, watch it is brutal.
Yeah,
They're coming
yeah,
from all angles.
yeah. Well, this game from London today, there was a guy carted off in the first
Yeah,
half.
yeah. They're
And
flying in this way and that way
yeah,
you know, and it's
yeah,
there
I
goes
know
a
they're doing
career.
what they can, and we've talked what they can. We've talked about it before, but it's a violent sport. And I was thinking, like, since they're in London, does rugby have this kind of injuries? Rugby seems a little goofy too because they're not wearing any equipment, and their heads and all that stuff. Does that have, or is anybody concerned about rugby over in Europe? Uh, you
Uh,
know, I don't know.
I don't. I would. I don't know. But I would think like, is it the NFL has a lot of stake in this.
Yeah,
Paying a lot of the paying a lot of the, they're afraid. People see that. How many people say, I'm not going to let my son do that.
right, right. Yeah.
Forget this.
Well, yeah, we are seeing guys retire earlier than they instead of hanging around where they're like, okay, enough is enough. I've taken my hits. I'm bowing out. We're seeing that
Yeah.
more and more.
Like, but
Um,
I watched the guy on with the Vikings today, the defensive back. I think he's older than me, Harrison Smith.
he's right up there with you.
Yeah, he's still there. Gee, he's still there.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
replaces him. I mean, yeah. Well,
yeah.
how about let's talk some things about Russia and Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
What gets me that is, we have a lot of problems in this country, right?
Yep.
And sometimes you feel bad. You sometimes it affects us all. But there's hope within the world because you got Russian people saying this is not right.
Right.
Ukraine. You got Russian people saying Putin is a fool. He wants to take Kiev, but there's no way we can do it.
Right. Yeah.
Half of our regiment is gone. Soldiers say.
Yeah.
They say we were going for training. These bastards didn't tell us anything. We all think the same thing. This war wasn't needed.
Yeah.
The only people that want this war is Putin
Right. He's the only one.
and
That's
his
it.
and his people that feed off him.
Right. And he's similar to somebody else I know. He just cannot um concede or admit I don't want to say admit failure, but admit any sort of shortcoming, even though the guy's pretty short. He can't admit any sort of like yeah, we're gonna recalculate. We're gonna back, we're gonna, ceasefire, whatever. Nothing. It's gonna be full steam ahead until the whole thing is just
So with
I don't
this
know.
Sorry, Mark. With
Would you
this
call me
Mark, uh, forgot what Mark.
Al?
I called you Al. Yeah.
Oh, Al. All right.
This Mark, there's hope in the world. With
Yeah.
that, and there's hope in the world in Iran, if I
In
may say
Iran, yeah.
Iran,
Yeah.
where they're saying you can't have scarves, you got to keep scarves, and the women are saying no way.
Right.
They're out there. women
right.
are taking the lead there now in Iran, and I think it's going to make a difference eventually.
Yeah,
Eventually,
I think what people like Putin and what societies, like I don't want to say the old guard, but the old guard, they kind of miscalculate young people today and how they're no
exactly,
longer
exactly.
they're no longer in the dark. They've got information. They know what's going on. You
Yeah,
know, and that's what's I don't know the number, but how many people, young Russian men, left the country over the last week when they started doing this goofy,
yeah, yeah,
here's a broom, go fight the war for us. I mean,
yeah.
use it as a rifle, whatever. Yeah, it's not the dark ages where nobody's in communication. We all know what's going on all over the world because of these because of phones,
Yeah.
and they're not going to fool younger generations anymore into fighting their stupid war.
And you
You know,
can't say whatever like what Putin said about what did he say about the Nazis or whatever, and people are supposed to believe it. They don't believe
right, right, yeah, oh yeah, they were going to go get rid of the Nazis over there
it.
in
Yeah.
Ukraine.
So there's
Ukraine,
hope. There's hope with Iran. People in Iran now. We've what's amazing to me is I think about like, however, on people in like in Italy,
Mhm.
still a lot of far right people.
Right. You can be. That's the other problem with this thing is you could be fooled. You could be tricked and manipulated with these things too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
obviously. So
How about um, this frightens me a lot with hurricanes, where you have
yeah,
to. God, how would I feel like if I had a home in Florida, house goes, everything
right.
goes. Where do I go? What do I
Yeah.
do?
You could be,
Uh,
it's easy to be flippant and go, well, why'd you build there? Hurricanes coming, they come all the time. You could be flippant like that, but also it's like, no, that's not how it works because there's generations. You grow up. This is where you live. This is your existence. This is whatever, and then storm comes and it's gone. This was really bad. This was really bad. That
really,
storm
really.
surge. I saw a time lapse like clip where they showed the water rising, up to like a over a stop sign, and and then receding too. It was like the same clip showed it rising and then falling, and man, the devastation is just uh, crazy. I mean, is that a reason for you not to live in Florida? Would you go? Florida's all right, but I don't want to live there because of her. I would use that as a reason
Oh
not to
yeah,
live
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
When I say like say people say like Arizona or Vegas, it's hot out, it's 110 degrees, but you're not having a hurricane,
right,
having a tornado,
right,
you're not
right,
having an earthquake.
right.
I think I could stand 2 months of that
Yeah,
and say like your whole house, your whole goes. And then here's another thing. Here's I was watching things. Um, if people they're telling people to leave, if you don't leave, it is by it's I don't want to say to let people die, but if you don't leave your house and we have to go get you, we're spending man hours to getting you.
not only that, it's dangerous.
And
Dangerous for those
dangerous,
rescues.
dangerous,
Yeah,
and reason.
yeah.
Uh, should we
I mean,
ask
you've
for?
got you've got electrocution, you've got toxic water, right? You've got
Right.
you got all this stuff going on, and then you got these volunteer or not volunteers, but first responders going in to save somebody off a roof, and I get it, I guess. Like if I've been through 3 hurricanes and here comes another one, I might go, oh, I can make it through a fourth one, you know. I guess you got to heed the call. You got to go. What would you do? Would you I've got somebody, I don't know them, but somebody I know has a brother down there and they didn't leave and they wrote it out and I was like I'd be one who would be like, no, I'm going. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um it's that storm surge that's so that when you're on the coastal thing with the water just coming up, it's like, whoa, it's never gonna end there.
Yeah.
Uh, very scary, very scary. And
Um,
the just the debris when you look at like some of the shots, it's like how do you even clean that up? How do you start?
yeah,
Where do you
yeah,
start
yeah,
on this block? On this block? I don't know.
yeah. I just was like I called I have a family there, family uh, cousins, and he was fun. He didn't have power. He's outside of Fort Myers, no, outside of Sarasota.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just
Yeah.
where's the you think where's the responsibility of the state, the responsibility, your responsibility,
Right. Of
the
the people.
government.
Yeah.
You should go. Uh,
Yeah.
you'll
And
wonder these days.
yeah, and then also maybe you can't go because either you don't have the means to go, or you've got a job that requires you to participate in the rescues or or you work for the electrical company, you work for maybe you have to stay. You never know. You
Yeah.
know.
I'll never forget. It reminds me something. It reminds me with 9/11, what they said as you're going out, we're coming in.
Yeah.
I'll never forget those comments.
Right.
Never forget.
Right. As you're running away, we're running towards it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That's true.
yeah.
That's true.
This other thing got me today. It was yesterday, actually. I read it about in Indonesia, a soccer match stampede. 127 people died. Are we
Yeah.
nuts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we
It all
nuts?
I don't want to say anything, and I know this will sound a little insensitive, but it kind of maybe it's just because there's so many people, you know, but it just kind of seems that that sort of stuff happens um with um European or this was Indonesia, maybe India. It always seems like when there's a tragedy, it's never 5 or 6 people. It's always over 100 people. You'll hear like a train went off a cliff and 3,000 people died. And I'm like, how do they get 3,000 people on a train? You know what I mean? It always seems like, and it's probably, um, we always kind of complain and moan about, what do you call it here in the United States, like OSHA and, safety precautions
Yeah, yeah,
and, uh, uh, working conditions and all that stuff. Like if you're opening a new business, there's all these things you got to go through just to get it, approved and everything and your
yeah,
construction. But we don't have hundreds of people dying in the stampede because we've got, there has to be an exit there. No, we can't, there's going to be crowd control over here. So, um, when I hear stuff like that, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe a little planning would have stopped 127 people from being stampeded. Years ago, man, years ago. Do you remember the Who? The band The Who. They had a concert in Cincinnati. I'm going back like 40 years, and it was like first come first serve. It was general admission, and people rushed to the front of the stage. And they all
yeah.
stampeded. Now going forward, there's no more sort of general admission things. You buy a ticket, that's your seat over there. So you don't have to beat
Now,
anybody to it.
I don't want to say this, but I will ask you because could you see something like that happen in a college football game?
Um,
I
yeah,
can't. You know?
yeah. I could see like an infrastructure thing. Was it? I'm thinking Camp Randall. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Up in Wisconsin, wasn't there where the railing fell and everybody just kind of toppled over, kind of like
Yeah,
dominoes? I'm thinking I might be wrong about the stadium, but I could see it happening um, uh, like that. But that's where stadiums have sections and they don't have standing room only and all that stuff. So it's less likely to happen in a place where there's regulations. Regulations, that's the word I was looking for. You know, I'm
yeah.
never going to a soccer game in Indonesia. I promise you that.
It's just you like I thought about. You think of that something, you go like, whoa. You think, well, how
Yeah,
about some?
I could kind of see it happening in a college atmosphere where kids are just getting riled up. I mean, there's some, where they storm the field and things like that. But
How about some my more nicer things?
You're what?
Uh, Let me give you some things of interest to me that I've seen in the papers.
Okay.
Okay. This happened. A, a 10-year-old, 10-year-old. Yeah. That's why I put it in. At a solo exhibition in New York City this summer, all 35 works by the 10-year-old artist Andre Valencia were sold, fetching $50,000 to $125,000. That's a 10-year-old.
Wow. So I haven't seen any of these paint. Are they paintings? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the painting.
Like 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 watercolor or what?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not
Sharpies?
into paint. I don't know.
Oil painting. I haven't seen AM, but you know, art is a weird thing where people put a number on it. It's whatever, you know, it's worth whatever somebody wants to pay. So obviously it's worth it if people are paying that. So is he a prodigy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Wow.
interesting. I
Cool.
tell you this. I mean, I shows me. My family and I we went to Paris years ago.
Oh,
We
okay.
said we got to go to the Louvre. To see, is it called the Louvre? To see
To see what?
the Louvre.
Yeah.
Yeah, to see the sculpture right in Paris, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think they closed at 5 o'clock. So I'm running there, and I go there's people there, and I look to see it. I go, I ran all this time to see that. You know, it was like nah, it's interesting. I told my nephew that he was insulted.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't appreciate the is that did you see the Mona Lisa? That's where the Mona
Yeah,
Lisa is.
something like that.
Something like, yeah, the Mona
Yeah,
Lisa. I don't know. It's Mona
yeah,
Lisa
yeah.
was a bunch
Yeah.
of dogs playing poker. I don't know, something. I don't
I'll
know.
never forget. Like, and I didn't mean it. It was like I'm here for this. You know, like it just say it. People looking at it like it's
You
just
know what?
either.
I speaking of that kid, I saw we were just in a small town last weekend. We were in a small town and we were like a little getaway sort of small town thing and some shops. And there was a shop there. And it's this these parents or this family have opened up a shop for their son, and their son, I think he's like a teenager, maybe like 20-ish. He's got Down syndrome, but he's got a talent for photography.
That's
So
terrific.
they opened up a little like boutique shop of his photos, and they were really good. I mean, these photos like were really good, and I thought that it just made my like my heart feel good because here's this you know this family with a son who's got Down syndrome. He obviously expressed an interest in cameras, and they've taken it now to where he's selling his work in this little shop, and he's kind of like a local celebrity because
That's
of
great.
how
That's great.
successful it's been. And I thought, you know, good for them and good for that
Kudos to that
kid.
kid. Kudos to that kid. Like,
Isn't that cool? It was
yeah,
really cool. Kind of when you mentioned this about the artist, it made me think about that. And it was like, you know, this photography was really it was like nature and stuff like that. But it was like, all right. I didn't buy anything. Like, I guess I could have bought something, but I didn't. But anyway,
uh,
it was good.
let me give you another comment here. Uh, this year, a quarter. Where are we in the United States? This year, a quarter of all new cars purchased in China will be in an all-electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid.
In China, a quarter of them.
Quarter. I wonder
Yeah,
where we are.
yeah. Yeah, we'll be there soon, just because of mandates. But that's really interesting. That's really a quarter of
Quarter.
all. Wow.
Quarter of all new cars will be an all-electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody who said, you know, these Chargers, you know, they're going to be all over. They're going to be ugly. It's like, and I said, my thought was, really, that's your comment because I said, hey, we got used to fire hydrants. There was a time where, you know, 150 years ago, there was no fire hydrants around. All of a sudden, we had plumbing. They popped up these fire hydrants. You drive
Yeah.
down the street, you don't even see it anymore. I'm sure, you know, years ago, it was like, look at these ugly fire hydrants when they first started popping up in society.
Yeah.
Now we're used to them. So it's going to be the same thing with electric chargers. It'll just be part of the city. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the time.
Oh, yeah, we've got we got about 5 minutes here or something.
I have another one here. Okay.
Okay.
Talking about a 10-year-old. Here's another 10-year. Ernest Hemingway, first known short story about a fictional trip to Ireland, was written when he was 10 years old.
Ernest Hemingway's first short story was when he was 10.
Yeah.
I believe that, right?
Pardon me?
What was it about?
It doesn't say.
Oh, all right.
About a fictional trip in Ireland.
Oh, cool. All right.
He was 10 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I could read when I was 10. Well, come on. Right. 10 years old. Yeah.
That's that Philly upbringing over there.
Yeah.
You could place a bet, but you probably couldn't read it then, right? Yeah.
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 And another one here. This is interesting to me. The United States has reported more monkeypox cases than any other country. 25,000, about 40% of the global total. Does that mean we report it and other countries really don't?
Yeah, that's probably it, right? Yeah, it's not like it's unique to us. It just means that it means it's reported. Yeah.
Let me say another thing. I just saw this today, and this is I don't like this because where we're going. The U.S. Army recruit fell 25% short of the 2022 target. If you say the U.S. Army, then you get the Marines, the Air Force, you get the Navy. They're all doing the same. We could have a potential problem in a year. I think I've always thought this, Mark, that every person in government.
Wait, say it again. You froze. What'd you say?
I believe this. I've said this for years, and I'll keep saying it until they do something. That every person who turns 18 has to serve their country in some way, whether it be in a hospital, a nursing home, a prison, something, 6 months, 4 months, you pick, 6 months, a year. It's just we're coming, with there's no responsibility, there's no service to the country.
Yeah.
No service. No, there are people not. You get the people in the army, whether you're poor or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Service.
Yeah, it's I don't disagree with you. I, I certainly I in fact I agree with you. So you're not saying strictly military service.
No. You got a list of 30 up to 30 choices.
Yeah. I'm gonna do this. This is my service time to the country. Yeah, and it could be
homelessness, something. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good thought to have, because if you think about if we did that for 25, 30 years, that would reshape the country in terms of how we feel about it, how we take care of it, how we respect each other. So yeah, I'm with you. I'd vote for you. I'd vote for you.
Thank you, because
give me a yard sign. Bring a yard sign. I'll put it in my yard.
I remember Charlie Rangel wanted that. Remember Charlie Rangel?
Charlie Rangel, yeah.
Yeah.
And
it never went. I just think
yeah, it's all volunteer. I will say this though, that man, they really with the partisan stuff that goes on in the country, is that related to it at all? I don't know.
No, I think that was before. It's like it's volunteer. So like you only go if you're like gun ho or you want to get an education there.
Yeah,
serve for the army. You know,
right.
It's just something like people like people got to realize as people are dying in our defense and around the world, some of us are at bars having drinks.
Right. That's a great.
No
That's a
connection,
right. Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
judgment. No connection.
Right. Yeah. We,
Uh,
we we might have a flag flying in our yard, but are we really backing up that support for people who are serving and protecting?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
But I watched Sporkanish today, and somebody said like letter. They called back, they write back. They said, but America's probably the world's America's attention span is very, very, very limited.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we see how history is repeating itself with Putin and in terms of like, Nazi Germany and things like that, just the aggression that's going on. And it's like you remember it, I remember learning about it, but do generations, younger generations really know about how dangerous this situation is? So yeah, that's the our attention span, man. Back to this. It's really short. Hey, we got to
Yeah.
wrap this up. All right.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone, for listening.
Yeah, I've got to wrap it up because I have a short attention span. That's why. All
Okay.
right. All right. But nice talking to you. We'll see what happens in the football games today. May everybody's team win and everybody's rival lose. All right. It's
Okay.
not
Thank
it's
you.
not just that we win, but the opposing people have to lose. All right. Nice talking to you, Greg. All right.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you later. Bye bye.
Bye.